Hello friends, how you doing out there? I welcome you to my channel Alexa Graphics and Multimedia. In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how you can design a very good business card in Adobe Photoshop. So let's get the tutorial started. Welcome back viewers. So the first step to take is to make a new document by go to File. Then you select New. Having select New, a dialog box is going to pop up to make a new document. Alright friends, so the next thing you have to do is to set your page. So at this point here, this is where you type the name of your design business card. Design. Then the next thing you have to do is to make sure that you set your width to be 3.25. Then your height should be 1.75. Then your resolution, your size should be inches. Then your resolution should be 300. Then your color should be CMYK. Then the next thing you have to do once you are done with all the settings is to click on Create. Now, as you can see from the screen here is that we have make a new document for our business card. So the next thing I would like to show you is how you can create a bleed area for your business card. So the first thing you have to do is to grab your ruler, both horizontal and then a vertical. All right. So the next step you have to take now is to go to your menu bar, go to Image, select Canvas Size. So at this point here, this is where you set your bleed area. So at this point, make sure you type 0.25. Then at this point also, make sure you type 0.25. So then make sure you check the relative. Then once you are done, then you click on OK. Now the next thing you have to do here is to grab your ruler, also both horizontal and the vertical. All right. So the next thing you have to do is to go back to your menu bar, click on Image, Canvas Size. The dialog box is going to pop up like this. Then at this point, this is where you have to type another 0.25. Then at this point, 0.25 again. So you can see now we have our 3.25 by 2 inches as our standard size for business card. So once you are done with the setting, then you click on OK. Now we have done with every necessary setting in our business card. So let's start with the design. So the first thing you have to do in this tutorial is to go to your menu bar, is to go to your tools bar, select your pen tools. Then having selected your pen tools, you can start to sketch your style. So what I did in this tutorial was that from the top here, take your pen tool down, then you drag in like this, drag it out until you satisfy with the curve. Then press down your Alt key and cut it like this. Something like this. Right. So the next thing I did in this tutorial is that I applied color fill. So all you have to do is to go to your menu bar and pick the color. Then the stroke, remove the stroke from this place. All right. Now you can see that the color here is not the right color for my design. What I'm going to do here is to come to the layer thumbnail, layer panel, click on the shape thumbnail and select the new color. Here, this is the color code for this particular place. Here is the color code. Then once you are done, then you click on OK. That's the first step. So the next step I take in this design is that this particular shape here, I have to duplicate it. What you can do is that just press Ctrl J on your keyboard to duplicate it. Then having duplicated the shape, so the next thing you have to do is that you need to change the color from the layer thumbnail. All you have to do is to double click the layer thumbnail. When you double click the layer thumbnail, the color picker is going to pop up. Then from this point here, this is where you change the color. So the color code here is E0 E9DD then 1. That was the color code. Once you are done, then you click on OK. So at this point here, come back to the layer panel here. Then you drag the original shape to the top. Good. So the next thing I did in this tutorial is that you come back to the duplicate shape layer. Then the next thing you have to do is to use your arrow key to move it outside from the duplicate. Or better still, you can just use your drag tool to move it out a little bit. So the next thing I did in this tutorial was that all you have to do is to go to your menu bar, click on edit, then from click on edit, select free transform. So at this point here, this is where you rotate your duplicate shape. And you can expand it from that angle. All right. So once you are done, you go to your menu bar, click on this check mark to accept it. So the next thing I did in this tutorial was that I duplicate this shape also. Go to your layer panel, right click on it, then look for duplicate layer. Then this particular duplicate layer, you can change the color name to be light blue. So once you are done, then you click on OK. So now this new light blue is what I rotate the shape also. So what you have to do now is to apply the color. Double click the layer thumbnail. When you double click the layer thumbnail, then you pick the color. I have the color as a background color. So when you pick the color, here is the color code for this one. This is the color code for our light blue shape. Then once you are done, you click on OK. So at this point here, you can just drag it out also with your you have to change the light blue color. So all you have to do is to double click the layer thumbnail. color picker will pop up. Then from here, this is where you set the color code. So the color code for light blue is IFC4F4. That is the color code for the light blue. Then once you are done, you click on OK. Good. So the next thing you have to do is to come back to the layer panel here, drag the original shape to the top. Good. Then come back to the light blue panel. The next thing you have to do is to go to your menu bar, click on Edit, then look for Free Transform. So at this point here, this is where you rotate the shape. Something like this. So once you are done with your rotation, then go to your menu bar. This particular check mark, just click on it to accept it. Good. So the next thing I did in this tutorial is that at my background here, I have to import my pattern from the desktop. All you have to do is to go to File, then look for Place Embedded. So at this point here, then you look for where you have your stock graphics. So I have my stock graphics in my desktop. So here's the tutorial elements. Then this is the pattern I'm going to use. Then once you are done with the stuff, then you click on Place. All right. So at the edges here, press Shift key and alternative key, then you drag to expand the pattern. Good. So once you are done, go to your menu bar, click on this check mark to accept the pattern. All right. So the next thing I did in this tutorial was that I make use of Eclipse. All you have to do is to go to the top, then from down here, create a new layer. Having created a new layer, then go to your menu bar, select Eclipse. So at this point here, you can fill it with any color of your choice. Then you remove the stroke from this place. Once you are done, then come to the artwork area, drag and draw your eclipse. All right. So the next thing I did in this tutorial is that this particular eclipse, so I have to duplicate it by go to Edit, I have to expand it by go to Edit, Free Transform. Then I will have to expand it first, Shift key and Hotkey to expand. Then once you are satisfied with the size, at the menu bar here, click on this check mark to accept it. So the next thing you have to do is to come to the layer panel here, duplicate the eclipse, then look for duplicate shape, duplicate layer. So this one can be outline. Then once you are done, then you click on this OK. So the next thing you have to do is to come to the original layer, then go to File, look for Place Embedded. Then this is the stock photo I make use. So once you pick your photo, click on Place. All right. So from this point here, you can resize your image. Okay. So once you are done with the size, at this menu bar here, you can click on this check mark to accept it. Then the next thing we have to do now is to power clip the shape. I have to take this outline down here. Okay. So we can power clip in this regard. Right click on it. Then select create clipping mask. Then you can now position the image to where it's supposed to be. Good. Oh, Control Z. So I have to take this shape down here. Right. So my stock photo now can be moved perfectly. So now we can work on the outline layers of our shape. Our shape outline layer now is, this is our outline layer. So we have to drag it to the top. Then you can now work on it. All you have to do is to go to your tools bar, make sure the eclipse is active. Then from the menu bar here, remove the color fill. Then apply the stroke color. Once you are done with the setting, then come back to the outline layer. Then having come to the outline layer, go to Edit. Then select Free Transform. So you can drag it out. Shift key and hotkey to drag it out. Then once you are done, at the menu bar, click on this check mark to accept it. So we have our outline perfectly around the shape. So the next thing we have to do now is to start to type. All you have to do is to go to your tools bar, select your text tools, then you can start to type. So you create a new layer, then you type. So at this point here, this is where I type the company name. So all you have to do is to come to the text property menu bar. At the menu bar, then you can change the font size. So you can change the font style. You can change the color from this place. I'm using white. Then once you are done with your format, then you click on OK. So now let's type. The company name is Excel Graphics and multimedia. Then you press Ctrl A on your keyboard to select everything. So at the menu bar here, you can change the font size to, let's try 8. Okay. Then select only the down below part of the text. Change the font style to medium. Change the color to this our light blue. Good. So the next thing you have to do now is to click on this check the pick tools, then you drag and position your text. So we still need to reduce the size. Go back to the text tools, click on the text, then press Ctrl A on your keyboard. Then from the menu bar here, select 6 as your new font size. Then once you are done, then you click on this check mark. Go to your move tool. Now you can position the text. I'm good with it this way. So the next thing you have to do is to still continue your